Hey everyone. So I had a few clients reach out to me asking for a few things that they could do to kind of keep things pliable, keep things healthy during this time that we're unable to get to the gym. So what I wanted to do today was share a few different exercises that we can do. One to kind of keep the core engaged, as well as work on the hips, because when these guys get stiff, they get tight, a lot of problems occur. So these are going to be a few exercises you can do to kind of keep all that at bay. So the first exercise we're going to work on today is called bird dog. So what we're going to do is come down into a 4-point stance. So we want our hands underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. What we're going to do is reach out the right hand and left leg, so opposing limbs, and then bring them in, touch the hand to the knee, and then right back out. We're going to do this for 12 repetitions on one side. Once we're done, then we're going to bring the hand back down, reach out with the left hand, right leg, and do the same thing, 12 reps on the other side. This is going to be working all of our stabilizers in our midsection, rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, spinal erectors, you name it. This next exercise is going to be working the obliques. We're going to come right back down to the mat, laying back, make sure our heels are right next to our butt cheeks. What we're going to do is lift our shoulders off the ground and tilt towards one side. Try to tap as low on your foot as you can, and then go to the other side. Each side counts as one rep. So that's 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on. Go at your pace. I want to see 20 of these. All right, so from this bottom position, what we're going to do is extend the legs straight out, hands to our side. Let the head relax back. We're going to take our legs off the ground, tuck them in, and roll them up to the chest. Reverse crunch. Same idea, working the rectus abdominis. Keep those knees driving to the chest. We're going to do this for another 20 reps. So this next move is going to be working from the transverse abdominis. We're going to bring the knees up to half mast. We don't want to be full right here. If this is too easy, then I would recommend going to the straight leg. So starting right here, dropping both knees out to the right side, and then over to the left side. We're going to do 20 total of these. And the key thing, as long as the rotation of the spine is occurring at the lumbar, it is safe. If we're doing a lot of thoracic rotation, it's rotating from the upper chest, upper back, then yeah, we're gonna have to work on some mobility things to really make sure that it's the lower back that's doing the rotation. All right, again, 20 reps of these. So for that core series, we want to make sure that we're doing that for 3 complete sets. So I want you to go from move 1, 2, 3, 4, take a little breather, and then go right back. So remember, we're going from bird dogs to the oblique taps to the reverse crunch, and then to the windshield wipers, right? Once you're done with that series, take a little breather, and then go right back to the beginning. For this hip series, we're going to need a few things as far as equipment. So the first thing I'd recommend is some type of chair, some type of box that you can sit down on. Couch works great as well. All right, and then we're also going to need something high that we can kind of support off of. A chair like this will work. Just be a little mindful that it's a little rolly. If you can use a wall for additional support, I'll show you what I mean in a few seconds. First exercise for the hips is going to be box squats. So what we want to do is set our feet a little wider than hip width apart. We want to keep our feet roughly parallel with one another. If there's a little drift out at the toes, it's not a big deal, but I want to try to aim for parallel. We're going to keep our hands out in front of us just to give ourselves a little bit of counterbalance. We're going to stick the butt out and then have a seat into the chair and then come right back up. What I'd like you to do is aim for 12 of these. If this is easy, I would like you to go all the way up to 20. We're going to do a single leg, stiff-legged deadlift. Now, this is where we're going to use something to kind of help stabilize ourselves, whether it's a chair like this, a bookshelf, a wall. What we're going to do is hand on, make sure we're about a shoulder length or arm length away from it. The foot that is furthest away from the supporting structure is going to kick back. You're going to reach down keeping your body straight, touch the ground, really feel that pull into the hamstring right there, and then come right back up. Key thing I really want you to think about is not letting that toe open up on the way down. You want to keep that toe pointed down the whole time. This way your hips are closed up, not opening up. Right there, right back up. We're going to do this for 12 reps per side. You're going to feel this burn in the glutes as well as the hamstrings. And simply, you're just going to turn around and do the same thing on the other side. Same idea, keeping that toe pointed down, keep the hip square. Going for 12 on this side. So we really want to make sure that we're working the gluteus medius, especially during this time. This is the muscle that likes to get tight along with the piriformis and can create a lot of issues in the lower back and into the hips. So all we're going to do is laying down on the side, keeping the toe pointed down on the upper foot, upper leg, raising the heel as high up as possible. This should not be a big move. If you find yourself coming all the way up here, that means your toes pointed in the wrong direction. We're opening the hips up. This one we really want to really exaggerate internal rotation at the hip so that we keep that system closed, so that the gluteus medius and piriformis are really the only muscles that are really working on this one. You're going to feel real solid burn at the side of the glutes. You should feel real strong contraction at the top. We're going to do 16 per side. These are endurance muscles. You want to do higher reps of these, because when these guys are strong and they're able to do their job for a long period of time, then that means our hips are going to be way more stable. So 16 reps on one side, then we're going to come around. Again, hand behind the head just to give yourself a nice little relaxing position for the neck. We don't really want to stress the neck out. Hand on the ground just to give ourselves a little better base of support. We're going to have the toe pointed down, and right on up and right down. 16. Really feeling that contraction in the hip and that burn in the same muscles. Last move for the hip series is going to be hip thrusts. We are going to do 2 different variations of these, because depending on your strength level and your activity level, I would like you to try the harder one, but ultimately if you don't have something you can elevate your feet up to, make sure you're just doing it on the ground. All right, coming onto the ground, making sure your feet are planted into the ground. Lift the toes up on this one. We're going to have our hands out just to kind of give ourselves a bigger base of support. We're going to press through the heels, drive our hip all the way up, coming up onto the shoulders. You shouldn't be trying to keep your back down. You want everything to come up and elevate, like you're trying to drive your hip all the way through the sky. Really exaggerate this motion, come back down. This should be a slow move. You can do this fast, but for right now, I want this to be a nice, slow, and controlled move. We're going for 20 reps. I want you to feel that burn right in the butt cheeks. Make sure they are on fire by the end of this. So this is going to be the foot elevated hip thrust. So what I want you to do is really make sure you scoot yourself close to the object that you're putting your feet up. This could be a couch, this could be a folding chair, long chair. It doesn't even need to be this high. It could be a little higher, it could be a little lower. It doesn't really matter, as long as we have a little bit of elevation. We're going to set our heels right on the edge. Again, that's our driving point. If our toes are getting too much involved, we're going to really feel this in places we really don't need to be feeling this. So keep everything in the heels. Again, keeping the hands to the side, we're going to drive the hip all the way up. Really exaggerate that thrust all the way through. You're going to feel this a little more in the hamstrings, but again, really tight in the glutes, making sure we're coming up onto the shoulder and then right back down. The head's not changing much of a position in this. The head's staying still, the rest of the body is staying in a plank-like position. I'm not rounding anything, I'm not arching anything. Coming up and down. We're still gonna do this for 20 reps. So if this gets to be a little hard for you, go straight to the ground. It's not a big deal. We're not here to impress anyone. We're here to kind of make our bodies a little better, all right? When we get to the gym, then we can worry about impressing people again. But for now, let's just focus on keeping everything right so that while we're going through this time, we're strong, we're stable, and we're staying healthy. So again, with that hip series, I want you to do that for 3 total sets. So you can go through each of those 4 moves for the amount of repetitions that I asked for, take a little breather, and then come back and do them all again. We're gonna do that 3 times. If this is a little too easy, you're feeling like you're not getting enough out of this, go to 4 times. These moves are gonna be good enough to kind of keep things going, and you don't need much in the way of equipment, all right? So I hope everyone's doing well, staying healthy, and I will see you all shortly.